positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here. I just want to share something with you guys because one of the viewers had emailed and had mentioned that one of their older friends in their 40s was still talking about the streets and bragging about how hard they were and what kind of tough guy they are. And I just want to say, man, on some real talk, man, if you're still talking about what a badass you are in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, and you have to talk about it, maybe you failed at being a badass. Because if you are truly a badass, people already know. You don't have to go around and shout it out or declare it, because your body language, your actions speak volumes. Mike Tyson, some of these military guys I know, they might tell a story here or there, but they're not going into bar rooms, letting everybody know how bad they are. They are who they are because of what they did, and they don't need to brag about it. I tell stories on Fresh Out with other guys to hopefully lace you up, prevent you from making stupid mistakes. But the guys that I talk to on my show, they're the real deal. No need to go and put down other people or talk about what you're going to do to somebody. Anybody who talks about what they're going to do to somebody is really not about anything. Because I grew up around some guys who, real gangsters, dudes who would, pistol whip people, bust them upside the head with bottles, but they didn't talk about it before they did it. Catch fades. They would just see somebody and it would be on sight. It wasn't a bunch of banter or back and forth, rhetoric. It was none of that. It just, you handle your business. There was no typing on the keyboard or social media saying this about somebody, this person. You never see this person. You never cross their path. It was like, oh, hey man, isn't that so-and-so over there? You be at the mall. Yeah, that's that dude. Hey, you remember so-and-so said that they said, whoop-de-wop. You like, yeah, I remember that. And you just go up to, the so-and-so, hey man, what's happening? And do a look, and then you just take off on them. It wasn't no back and forth, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then, at the end of the day, it was about, okay, if we can, exchange hands and then settle it and you can shut your mouth, we can go about and live normal lives. It wasn't so much about taking somebody's life or ending their life over something so small. I mean, what would get your life ended back in the days is, robbing somebody for their sack, jacking somebody for their car, jumping somebody, like I said, 4-3, a 1 or something like that, because, and then somebody would retaliate. But nowadays, people talk shit all day. Usually nothing happens. It's just to sell either music or to get views. The guys who want to be the big homies, they're not even looked at as big homies, because the little cats is like, dude, I don't know you. We're on some different time. It's really all that shit is just, it's kind of dead in the water. And I don't try to be a big homie to anybody. I'm not trying to, lead these youngsters like I'm their unk. I just share, and some young people like what I have to say. Others can give a damn. As far as how tough I am, I don't need to describe every fight I've been in, you know, what I did in the penitentiary, who I ran with. You know, I would rather share success that I had and I'm having after the penitentiary, what I am doing now, and I want to hear from people who were able to avoid going to the pen, who are successful, and how they were able to do it. If you spent 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years in the pen, dude, your most valuable commodity is time. I tell people all the time, you know, it's not, you know, you think, oh, I'm making a lot of money, I'm making all this money, but you're compromising yourself maybe in what you're doing, and the time that you are putting into whatever it is you're doing, you could be doing something else which could be paying you, maybe not, you know, right now, but in the near future, and you would have more time. So you take a certain skill set, and that skill set, maybe you're not making anything. You got to do a part-time job to fulfill whatever that skill set is so that you can master it. Well, when you do master it, you're putting in maybe, I don't know, 6, 8, 12 hours a day. That's time. So you've already sacrificed all this time to get to the skill set, and finally, maybe after, you know, X amount of years, it pays off. But now that skill set allows you freedom, which gives you time. And now that time allows you to enjoy different things in life, to create experiences, to kind of fulfill whatever it is you were put here to fulfill as far as your journey, you know, whatever gift you were given. But, you know, if you're like I said, if you're, you know, 40, 50, 60-year-old man, and you're still talking about the streets, you're still, you know, reminiscent, then you might think about, you might have failed, bro. You might have failed, because, you know, the streets is, it's garbage, man. If you look out there and, you know, when you start really picking apart the conversations with the people who think that that's where it's at, you're like, wow, you know, do I really want to be tied to this? You take the streets, and, you know, there's some things I've learned that I still use to this day, as far as just sales tactics, negotiation skills, communication skills, you know, knowing that I've been in that environment. It wasn't, and I'm not going to say like I was in there for years. I wasn't. I had a, you know, a stint where I was there, and at the same time, I had some educational background that I was able to fall back on so that I could move in different circles. But I never looked at the streets as being where I wanted to be at. And to be honest with you, most people who are really street guys who were in the streets, they were trying to get out. Their whole objective was to eventually get the hell out the streets. All the ballers I knew from Northern California down to Southern California, and I've lived in, you know, everywhere from Sacramento to Bay, LA, all those guys, once they got some bread, they wasn't trying to really be in the streets like that. They matured. They went on to other things, businesses, construction, trucking. They went into other things, man. You know, they weren't trying to, be in the streets all day long with, you know, blunts and hanging out and, you know, up in, you know, these seedy hotels and these grimy females. They usually got them a wife. They try to build a family and build something more than what they had, which was why they were in the streets. But you don't build a career from the streets. You don't use the streets and make it a lifelong thing. You know, a lot of people, you know, the streets is, they're unforgiving. You be in the wrong place, wrong time, getting your hair cut at the barbershop, get domed. You know, somebody who don't like you, somebody who never made it out, somebody who's just in a bad mood, you know, walking down the street, you know, doing something, somebody drive by and they're just mad, you in a nice car, some dude is hating. It's just the streets it's some straight shit, man. The hood, you drive through there, you look around, and get the hell out. You don't glorify it. You don't, the kids who want to, make it seem like it's something that is coveted. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them because a lot of those kids, and most of them is gonna, go through this cycle, and because they're in and out, and it might not be to these guys hit late 30s that they realize they wasted all that time in the streets, man, and they ain't never been nowhere. They never traveled. They have no point of reference for things of happiness that they done. They just know, oh man, one time they went to the beach locally. Sad, bro. The streets is straight shit, man. Straight shit. You get what you get from there, and you can try to go back and clean some things up, but some things are just dirty, and no matter how much you clean them, you look at, I don't know if you ever had a piece of metal, or a car that's just some shit, and you keep trying to build on it, and sometimes you say, man, I just gotta sell this shit, man, let somebody else have it, and just let somebody else take care of it. It's not, everything can't be cleaned up. Some things, especially when you talk about a street mentality, some people, that's just where they feel comfortable at, and they don't want to change, and they're not gonna change, maybe in the next lifetime. So you gotta figure out, like, hey man, is all this street shit the big homies talking about, or what they're bragging about, or this stuff, or these stories, it might be entertaining, but it's not something you want to embrace, because it's not going to be rewarding in the end. It's much more rewarding to be around people who are doing positive things, people who have families, who, they create experiences and make something, and that's just me though. There's a lot of guys out there who say, oh man, you're full of shit. I'm gonna rep this, I'm gonna rep that. And hey, I don't knock those guys, man. Everybody has their own, perception of life and what they feel that, they want to be involved in. I always said, I was passing through, and I have other things that I feel I was, purposely put here to accomplish, because there's thoughts that I have that I can't control, as far as, passions, things like the arts, things like, helping people. And I feel that if I have these positive thoughts that God has blessed me with, and I didn't act on them, it would be a travesty. So when I get these thoughts in my mind to do these videos, to share different perspectives, it's almost like a calling for me, so I share them with you guys, and hopefully you could take a life lesson from them and do something better with your life and make better choices with your life. Big Herc. If you're watching my channel, I'm a car guy. Go to BigHerc916.com and pick you up some products, man. Got that detail spray, baseball caps, beanies, tank tops, t-shirts. You know how we do it over here. Muscle up car lifestyle. Oh shit! The po-pos are coming. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigHerc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh shit!